to my channel. If you're new here, my name is bONITA. Here we talk about all the things that we love as it relates to lifestyle and luxury. Today is a Wednesday, so welcome back to another luxury upload. But if you're new, we do videos twice a week. So again, on Wednesday is usually a luxury video, and then on Friday we do what we call a Fast Five Friday. If you think you would like this type of video, please like and subscribe before you leave. But also too, I want to let you guys know that when you like and comment and subscribe, that really helps our channels. It really helps to get the video out there more to more people. So we really appreciate when you do that. But again, without further ado, we're gonna get started. Today we have a luxury Q&A. I am so grateful and thankful for you guys that we have been discussing lots of things in the comments here on YouTube. So I went through some of my past videos and I pulled a lot of the questions that I did not answer, questions that I said that I would either do a video on or I would do the research and get back to you. So I have a few questions, about 10, but you know I am a chatty Cathy, I am a rambler, so we may not go through them all. We may do half now and do half later, but we haven't done a luxury Q&A in a while, so it's a good time. So the first question, I always answer this question when I do any luxury Q&As, because it always comes up, is how do we afford luxury? What is my advice to a person that's just starting their luxury collection? Well, my number one advice is make sure that you are starting your luxury collection based on the things that you like, not because I do a video or luxury seems to be popular, or that you just want to start collecting or getting expensive items just because you see other people do it either here on YouTube or over on Instagram. Just make sure this is something that you want to do, and I would just say, if it is, just start. Just look at your budget, look at what you want to spend as it relates to your first luxury item. Some people start with shoes. I started with purses. Some people start with clothing. So determine what you really want in the luxury realm and just go for it. If you don't have the monies readily available, and when I say readily, meaning extra money, I call it fun money. That's what my husband and I call it in our budget. Monies that set aside not for emergencies, not for the kids, not for bills, not for like any kind of maintenance, just extra money that we have set aside for the fun stuff. Whether it be, a lot or a little, just looking at that and see what you can work with in that budget. But there are plenty of ways on how to afford a luxury, and several people have done these types of videos. I will go through some of my faves and link them down below, because there's no one way of you to be able to afford luxury. If we're just talking about dollar amount, the quickest way to build your collection would be, and the cheapest would be, to buy pre-loved. Now granted, pre-loved is not as cheap as it used to be when I started, I guess, collecting luxury items. The cheapest way traditionally is pre-loved, but if you find that the pre-loved, let's just say if it's Louis Vuitton, and you find that the Louis Vuitton bags on the pre-loved market are more expensive or kind of the same price point as the brand new ones, why don't you try like an underrated luxury brand? And I do have a few videos on underrated luxury brands that of course I will link down below. The next question is, what is your favorite handbag for spring? I just did a video on the top 5 handbags for spring, and we talked about kind of like handbag types. So I would have to go with the handbag type, and my favorite handbag type for spring would probably be a crossbody. Totes are like my favorite handbag type overall, but for spring and summer, like I said in the video, we are starting to like lighten the load. We are pulling back the layers. You're not carrying as much junk around. I know I don't, but any crossbody would be my favorite for spring. And another question came directly from, and I probably will do a video detailing some of these things, but I wanted to include it in the Q&A because I wanted to address it. But one of my subscribers wrote, and I'm just going to read the comment that they put under one of my most recent videos. It says, could you do a video on things to be aware of when renting bags? Do they charge extra if you scratch it or other damages? What's considered minor versus major damage? How do you make sure you don't end up owning them more money, I guess, if you rent a bag? Also, when is it not worth renting a bag, and when should you consider buying it? And the first thing is, briefly, things to be aware of. The first thing that you want to be aware of when you are renting or participating in a luxury subscription is just make sure the bag is pretty much close to brand new. Because if it's not pretty much close to brand new, I don't think it's going to be worth renting. That's usually one reason why people rent, is because they can get the hot, trendy bags like now. Bags that you can't find for purchasing. You could possibly rent them if you're participating in some of these luxury subscription programs. You want to make sure that the price point is worth it. For me, what I've found that when I'm going to rent or borrow a bag, because I use bag, borrow, or steal, when I'm going to borrow a bag, I have a cap at like $100, $150 for the month. When you're getting in a higher price bracket, to me, that's when I'm out. I want to keep it, not saying that $100 is like pennies and not worth it, but you know, things cost, right? I can budget that better to keep it for a month, or even if I want to extend it for $100 or less. I don't go over $150 when I'm renting or borrowing a bag. Do they charge you extra? Yes, they will charge you extra if you damage the bag. You want to inspect the bag once you get it in your hands. And then you said, what would be considered minor versus major damage? With bag, borrow, or steal, they have it clearly laid out what's minor damage and what's major damage. To them, like ink, pen stains, makeup stains, any kind of like jean rub off on their bags is considered major damage, and you will be charged fees for that. When is it not worth renting a bag and you should consider buying it? If you get the bag in your hands and you really love the bag, especially with bag, borrow, or steal, if you really love the bag and you see that you're going to want to extend the life of the rental, maybe if you rent it for 1 month, you extend it for 2 months, and then the third month you want to keep it another month. So I would say after the third round, if you have extended it twice and you know for sure that you're thinking that I may want to extend it again, I would consider purchasing the bag. Okay, so this question I pulled, it said, haven't heard you talk about Hermes in a while. Are you still loving Hermes? Yes, always and forever will love Hermes. I don't really talk about it that much because I don't have a boutique that's close to me. So I'm not always in store. But if I'm ever in a city that has a Hermes boutique, I'm definitely going to visit. It's really nothing for me to say other than I want a Hermes Kelly. That is probably my dream bag right now. I definitely want like a 28 or 32 in Cellier, meaning the boxier kind with the stitches on the outside. I love the sturdiness and the like old lady-ish vibes of it, because I think you can zhuzh it up and make it look like edgy. So definitely want a Kelly. A Birkin, if I'm offered a Birkin as well, would take that, but I would prefer a Kelly first. I like Hermes shoes right now more than the handbags, because there's only really one handbag that I want. Like I just said, a Kelly. I definitely love Hermes, still on the wish list. I just don't talk about it because I don't have one really close to me, and I just don't have anything new, I guess, to share. The next question says, Chanel, are you still loving Chanel? Yes, I will always love Chanel as well. Will I buy Chanel? Probably not. Not brand new Chanel. Chanel shoes, definitely. I can get behind buying them brand new because I don't really get down with pre-loved shoes. That weirds me out. It just does. My next Chanel bag, which will definitely be pre-loved, is going to be a Chanel boy bag. The next question is, what is your most loved luxury brand right now? Louis Vuitton will always be my number one luxury brand without a doubt. Without a doubt, I'm always in the market for a new Louis Vuitton something. I just love the brand. Always, always. But right now, another brand that I'm really intrigued by is Ferragamo. I just haven't realized how beautiful their bags are, their shoes. Out of the current luxury trends, what is your favorite trend right now? So my favorite luxury trend right now would be the classic preppy trend, even though obviously that's not a trend because classic is just what it is, being classic. But right now, a lot of the fashion houses are putting a trendier spin on classic items like, as you know, you guessed it, the Prada loafers. You knew I was going to talk about those. Things like that are really making my heart sing, if you will. I know it's a boring answer because I guess I'm pretty boring, but just the new classic, I guess, is what I'm enjoying right now as it relates to trends. And the last question is, what is a good place to shop or find luxury for less? There's tons of ways and places you can find luxury for less. Of course, we said pre-loved, but if we're talking about brand new luxury for less, there are contemporary brands that people wouldn't necessarily consider to be luxury that are luxury in my mind, that you can find bags that are $500 or less. Farfetch is a good place to go in, filter. If it's a handbag, handbags, $1,000 or less, $500 or less, and those brands will come up. I did a video on luxury handbags, $500 and less, and Kurt Geiger was one. Pull-in Paris, Demillier, like we talked about. There are tons of luxury brands that people do not necessarily consider luxury that you could definitely find for less. All right, guys, well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this luxury Q&A. Thank you for popping questions down in the comments. Some I had to hunt for. Thank you so much again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.